Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, our card for tonight is the Princess of Discs. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell when you do, and it will let you know when the next videos are coming out. It is free to subscribe. All right, so the Princess of Discs. One of my favorite cards. I know, I always say that. It's all always. But this one I love so much because of the colors. Brown and green are my favorite colors. So I love it. I love it. We have this. I'm going to do it one more time. We have a lot of boats lately. Every reading, I feel like in the last 3 days, there's been a boat, at least in the majority. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's start right here. And so we have, it looks like a person, maybe wearing a dress, maybe wearing a robe. You can see their face. It almost kind of looks like a Picasso or something. They have their arm out and we have a bird on their, standing on or perched on their arm, okay? And we have lots of music and playing a sweet song. We also have the moon. Okay. In the other hand, holding a fish. So we have abundance, right? Has a strong grasp on resources. Whatever it is it money? Is it the materials needed? Is it the knowledge, the education, the know-how? Whatever it is, you have the abundance there. And I really feel like there's a sense of really protecting those resources. We know that the Princess of Discs is pregnant. Okay, she's pregnant with life. It doesn't necessarily mean you're pregnant or somebody you know is pregnant or anything like that. But this is the place where life incubates. This is the place where, the creative source. This is where maybe the most amazing transmutation happens. Okay. And then it is brought out into the world. Okay. And it becomes what? What does it become? So I look at this and I think, you've worked so hard to get your life in the place that you want it. You have, probably, maybe gone to school or learned a trade or, done whatever you've needed to do to have some kind of ability to make money. Of course, we all have to make money. And, if that's been a formal education, if that has been, an education, your own pursuits, or if it is, life or all this stuff kind of mixed together, you are very knowledgeable. And I think that you're quite successful in whatever you put your energies into. So if you have a business or you have a career or a job, or you are post-work, you're retired, and you know, whatever you do, domestic stuff, volunteer work, community, whatever it is, you are, you know your stuff, right? But you're also, I wouldn't say that you're greedy. That's not what this is. But you're realistic. Okay. You know that you need to put a little something away. You have to hold on to your ability to do this work. You are good at upkeeping your ability to do the work. Okay. And as I'm saying this, I just feel like you're just so conscious of all that goes into whatever you do. If you need to learn new things, if you, you know, you'll go and learn, you'll go and study it, you'll go back to school for it, you'll, you know, expand your skill set. If this means more networking, you're good at doing that probably. You know, whatever it is, you get my point. Now we have the bird who is sitting there on the arm. Intuition. The universe speaks to you. You just know. You make moves, and people probably think, how did you know? Who told you about this? Well, the universe told you. You're very intuitive. You are always watching what's going on. You're really good at figuring out, you know, what the next thing is. You're good at anticipating. Okay, and this puts you ahead of the rest. And this is probably one, it's at a real high level here, right up here with the face. So I imagine that this is one of your biggest assets in all sectors of your life. Okay. Now we have the moon. Okay, so we're in the ninth side. This is where things are a little bit more shadowy. This is where, you know, things are a little more surreal. So I wonder if you work in, a field, or your interests are in a niche, or, you know, whatever genre, I guess. That is a little bit unconventional. You know, you do something really interesting. Maybe, you know, very few people are into this, or it's, you know, kind of a subculture, or whatever you would call it. And I almost feel like you're pretty well known. Or you're well respected, okay? And because I get this feeling of almost kind of like regal, you know, being like very sharp posture here, very upright, and kind of almost a spectacle, but not in a bad way. Like really, you walk into a room and people are like, wow, really interesting. Very, very neat, specific, aesthetic style, or, you know, whatever. And you're not somebody that's just kind of, you know, blends into the background. And so I feel, though, that also the ninth side, you know, some people fear the moon card, the Luna. They don't like going out into the dark. Right? Not venturing into those murky places. But I think that you are somebody who feels most at home. You just really are so good at taking the beautiful abstractness of the night and turning it into something quite gorgeous. Okay, so you're a creative as well. And yeah, I look at this and I think, I wish we were friends. I do. You probably are so very interesting. Okay, so we do have, now this turns into a ribbon. Okay, so there is some kind of, maybe you are a survivor of some kind. Okay, or somebody close to you is a survivor of something. And that's important. It seems important. It's right in the center. So it seems like it's part of your life's work, your identity, a focus. Okay. Maybe you like to raise awareness. Maybe, this is where you volunteer your time. Maybe this is what you're going through right now. Hello, TT. Oh, I missed you. I haven't seen you in like 25 minutes. Okay, so we have the moon above once again. So I feel like this is kind of a place that it's something that you think about a lot. You do worry about it. You don't let it rule you, but it is definitely something that is, you don't ignore. It comes up in your mind often. And we have a person who is kind of walking up this incline here. And I feel like we have also maybe a little bird next to them. And it feels like it's kind of on a boat. So I feel like, I feel really like there's this sense of wanting to go back. Like there's been movement forward, but there's a sense of, I wish things were how they were before. I can't get over how much everything has changed. And that's hard. That's really hard. That's been something that I feel like it makes me feel like I could cry thinking about it, because it's like it's hard to let go of what once was. Even though it wasn't perfect, it was yours, and it was, whatever your life was like, whatever you had going on, it feels like it has been scattered to some degree. But you've worked really hard. You've worked really hard through this thing that has happened. And I feel like, there is a sense of, because we have the boat, there's a sense of energy moving. So I feel like you've moved through the worst part of it for right now, right? And I feel like there's even a sense of safety even, but you're wary of believing that. And even though you've worked really hard to get through this thing, you can't help but think about what it was like before all of this happened. And I feel like you almost feel guilty because you can't get over it, but I think that's super normal. And I think that in some ways it would be really strange if you didn't feel this way. I feel like there's almost a sense of homesickness. Like, you're trying to build this other life up. And that's what it feels like in my mind. It's like I have this other life now. I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to get everything, worked out. And it's going well. But it just doesn't feel like home yet. But I see here, we have a heart, okay? And the heart it's a good shape. It feels really potent and strong, but it's also a little bit empty. Okay, and I think that this really is so important for you. And I'm not saying just you got to get over it, you got to move on. No, but I do think that you have to honor the life that you have right now, as well as, you know, be sentimental, looking in the past. I'm thinking of the back of the boat over here. Looking in the past here. That's okay. Yeah, definitely. But I also think that you have to do things, just even little things, to fill your heart up. Even if it's one little drop of emotionality at a time. And so I think that this is like making new traditions. Okay? Going places that you love. If you know, maybe you moved like across the world, across the country, whatever. So you have to start finding places that call to you. You have to start finding things that are important to you now, not just back then. And creating the openings for those things to start to have their own life within your life now. And I know that can be really difficult. I understand. I've had to start my life over with nothing because I have my cats, you know, and I get it. But you do it baby steps, one step at a time. And my goodness, you better be good to yourself and nice to yourself and tell yourself how well you're doing. You're a hero. You really are. You're the hero of your own life. You really are. And you might think, oh, that's silly, that's stupid, Lenor, it's ridiculous, that's kid stuff. But you know what? That positive self-talk, it helps. It works. And I think it's so important for us to implement it. Now, let's take a look. We're going to look at this side. We looked. And you can hear the cat crunching away over there. She probably came in to tell me, hey, I'm going to go eat really loudly. In the other room, but it's still very loud. Okay, so I'm seeing a face in here. And it looks like a person who even maybe has like a goatee. And you can see their eyes right there, the hair. We almost look like we have a Z, an L. But I feel like, oh, and we have somebody who's dancing here. Yes. And I wonder if this is like a, I wonder if this is like somebody who is like a brother. Somebody who it was a brother, a best friend, a good friend. But it feels like they're really coming up. And I feel like this is somebody that maybe like always was kind of the life of the party. They were like the person that when everything got really serious, they would come in and kind of just make, you know, a joke, or they would, you know, turn up the music and everybody would start having a little bit more fun. And it feels like they're not here. And I see we have the eyes and the little kind of a sad face here. And I feel like you think about them a lot. You carry them with you. There's the heart right here. And I feel like there's a sense of like you have to keep going. Like you just have to. You have to keep doing the thing. And this is, and I'm hearing, this is what's coming up for me. And I don't, I don't feel this way, but it's what immediately came into my mind is this person kind of telling you in a loving way, like, you have to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You got to get it together. Get it together. It's going to be okay. Okay, so we have the Z, and then I'm over here looking and I'm thinking, what is this? It looks like an L or L something, LVN maybe, LVN. I don't know. So let's take a look over here. Now we have a Taurus. Something to do with a Taurus person or a Taurus energy. And down here, we have a person who is in kind of a, is in the emotional water here, which is the T that kind of pulls up. But then they're in a posture of prayer. Okay, so something to do with an important Taurus energy, but also I feel you really drawn to a sense of maybe praying, talking to the divine, talking to somebody who has transitioned, whatever it is. I feel like this interior dialogue is really important for you, and I think that is quite transformative. Okay, and I really do believe in the power of prayer. And so, if that is, religious or not, spiritual or not, I do think that it's important for us to talk to something, right? Privately or, in fellowship as well. But I think that it changes the way that we experience the world. And there's something about being able to articulate, even if you don't say it out loud, something that you're feeling. Okay, noticing how you're feeling and being able to articulate it. That is really important. So, I don't know. If you know anything about the Taurus person, please, and you want to share, of course, please let me know. I'm always interested if these details mean anything to anybody, but I don't know. I don't always know. Sometimes I never hear from any, and then a year or two later, somebody will come back and tell me, like, oh my goodness, you said this to me, and we were talking about this, and you saw this, and I couldn't believe it. And then, it took some things to come into play for it to really, be like, oh my goodness. And I've had this happen with people in my life too, who've told me things that one, interestingly, was with my daughter. Years before, I had 2 miscarriages in my 20s, and I thought I wasn't gonna have a child, and so I kind of just went on living my life, thinking that I would just have cats and a boyfriend and all of that, and my husband, who's my husband now. But somebody years ago told me, there's a girl energy with you, and you will have a daughter. I was like, okay, and I thought, every once in a while I'd think about it. And then I got pregnant, and everybody was like, oh no, I bet it feels like it's the boy. And I knew, even my husband was like, we have boys in our family, it's probably a boy. And I was like, no. And I was having dreams. I knew it was a girl. And I feel like she was like talking to me in my dreams. and she's a girl, and I just, sometimes it just takes those years, but it sticks with you. It really does. And it just happens. So I don't know, not saying that I'm that powerful of a reader, but yeah, it's nice to hear confirmation from people once in a while. I hope that these readings speak to somebody somewhere, So anyways, let's do this. We have the Cincy Child affirmation cards. I'm going to flip it over. And it says, I am at peace with my past. Ooh. And focus on a future full of gratitude and abundance. Yeah. Well, there you go. It's interesting when these fit right into the reading like that. All right. Well, thank you, Cincy Child affirmation cards. Okay, Scorpio, I want to say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And it is free to subscribe. Also, if you would like to leave a comment, if you'd like to confirm anything, you don't have to though. I do read them all and they mean a lot to me. Okay, Scorpio, I love you. Happy Saturnalia. And we'll talk in just a few days. All right. Bye-bye.